But we're back in the easel, on the easel now, in the studio. One of the things that I'd like to do is I found out that using a clay-based red primer that was originally used for gold leafing, believe it or not, it's a pure clay base primer. And what I do is put that primer on this background, and it warms the whole picture up, makes it look more like a classical oil painting. To do that, what we do is we outline the subject matter in blue tape. One of the easiest ways to apply the blue tape is basically tear it down the middle, like so, and if you'll check somewhere on that tear, you'll find the right curvature, and then just tear it off and reapply it, overlapping. You can bend it slightly, but not a whole lot. And when you can't bend it, that's when you reapply it. So that goes up here, and if you're very selective, you'll use every bit of your tape and not waste any of it. I just take my thumbnail and tear it. Eventually what I'll do is have the whole outline of the subject matter outlined in blue tape. Then what I'll do is fill in the rest with a blotting paper or some sort of paper to protect this area. Again, all you got to do is just rip it down the middle, and you'll get curvatures as you rip it. Those curvatures are a godsend because they will fit some of the curvatures that you'll have to outline. It's amazing it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. If you're careful with it, you'll find the right piece that goes in the right spot for the curvature. But it is a puzzle, for sure. We have a friend in the studio today, a nice big black bumblebee. So if you hear him buzzing around, he's visiting us. On rounded corners, I try to round the corner with my finger, tearing a piece with the index finger, and that way I'll get that rounded corner. We're about done with this one. Just to protect it a little bit more, what I'm doing is putting a second row of tape on it just to hold down all of the curvatures of the first row. Sometimes it'll want to come up if it's got a lot of crinkles in it. So we tack it down with a second row of tape. Most of what you'll see today is unconventional. You just ask any classic artist and he'll tell you right away, this ain't right. It's what works for me, and I like doing it. So that's really all that matters. As long as you enjoy your art and you're happy with it, don't worry about the rest. All right. I think we can live with that. So, this paint is called Red Burnished Sealer by the LA Gold Leaf Wholesale Company, and it is basically red clay primer. And it is sort of an oil base, but it's primer, so acrylic will stick to it. What I like to do is just coat the whole thing in this red primer. You will get great adhesion with your paint, and like I say, when you paint over it, this under painting of the red will give your whole background a nice warm, cozy feeling, because some of that red will come through your painting regardless. I like to put sort of a sunburst background behind the head of the subject matter, highlighting just around them. It sort of accentuates the head and their face. But this is basic barn painting right here. If you've ever done any barn painting, it's pretty basic stuff. The reason I'm not using the paper to protect the whole thing is that I'm proficient enough, with this little brush, that I don't get it on the subject matter. Now when it comes to the sunburst, I will probably cover the face because the sunburst background entails Good morning, folks. Today we've got all our primered portraits ready to do the sunburst on all of them. I've got 4 of them that I'm working on presently. So we're going to start out with a palette of browns and blacks, coffee tans and nutmegs, burnt umbers and blacks. Basically another barn brush or a big old brush. And what I like to do is start out doing just a black border, because you're going to fade to black. So we're just going to smear on a black border. Simple as that. That's our point of no return there. Black is black. And so we'll round some corners, since we have a a head for a subject matter. Round some corners off, like so. By the way, we have papered in the subject matter to protect it. Just any kind of cheap paper. I mean, it's throwaway. Okay. Get sort of an even circle created. And then we can switch to brown, blend it in. This is burnt umber. Blend it into the black nicely. Bring the black back into the brown. I like to bring the brown first. I like to spread the brown out into the black and then reverse that motion, bringing the black back into the brown. That way you get a nice soft blend. If you have trouble blending, one of the tricks that I've learned with acrylics is that if you use Dawn in your dishwasher, your Dawn dishwasher detergent, if you put a couple of drops of that in your wash water, if you use that wash water to clean your brushes and to break down your paints out of your brushes or your paint, Dawn has glycerin in it, or something near glycerin, and it makes the paint slide, and it retards the drying time just slightly, so you have time to blend. A lot of people using with acrylics overwork it, and they don't have the time, and it gets all pasty on them. I'm going to a coffee brown now, which is just another shade lighter than the burnt umber. Again, just blending it out. I'm missing a brush that I dearly love. I lost a brush. It just disintegrated on me because I overused it. But it was an old Bob Ross 2-inch brush, and it was great for these big old backgrounds. And I'm gonna have to go get me another one. Okay, we'll go to the next step, brown. I'm gonna rinse that brush out a little bit. Go to another brush. Don't particularly care for that one. Well, it's got Bob written on it. We may live yet. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. nice soft lighting. Just blend it out all the way. Clean that brush out a little bit. Come back in here. One more step. You'll get that swing to this thing eventually. A little spot or two down here we'll touch up. Add a little black to her. There we go. There's your first starburst. Once we peel the tape off and everything, it will have a glowing light behind the subject matter. That's number one. Let's do another one. Clean the brush out, start all over. Thank you much.